Asmongold calls out Twitch in his latest video clip that's been going viral over on X, where he says that they should ban all political content, and that would even include his own content from the platform if they want to optimize ad revenue, but he doesn't think that they would actually follow through with that. Now, this is just kind of the latest story circulating around Asmongold, where he's trying to, at least to me, looks like he's trying to have like an exit strategy from places like Twitch, because people who are more interested in free speech and other things like that and don't want to have to worry about arbitrary community guideline rules and stuff like that being enforced on some more harshly than others. So he'd rather just go to a place where things are more equally applied. Recently too, supposedly he's actually working with X in order to try to improve the UI on their platform in order to optimize it for streamers, something that Elon Musk has been trying to push the platform to do. But right now in its current state, X is still just a platform for like news scrolling and sharing your thoughts and other things of that matter. Elon Musk wanted it to be a one-stop shop for social media, which would include streaming. I think that's kind of a lofty goal. I think they'd be better suited just to try to make a sister site to X that is built for streaming and other video sharing like that. But Elon Musk wants it to be this one place. Right now, Asmongold, according to this post right here, Asmongold says he's been in contact with people. Twitter/X streaming is willing to help them change their entire UI platform and stream there for a month for free. Says he would stream on X for 20 hours a week, thinks it would take anywhere from $30 to $50 million. I think that's probably a modest estimate, but let's go with that. Elon Musk says, okay, let's give it a shot. So we'll see what comes of this, whether or not it will actually work. If you're trying to optimize your streaming on your platform like Elon Musk wants to do with X, and having someone like Asmongold streaming 20 hours a week for a month would definitely help give them a lot of information on what they can and can't or should and should not do on that side. Whether this will actually work will remain to be seen, but I do like the idea that there are other places out there than Twitch trying to push this sort of thing, because everyone knows Twitch is a place that isn't really consistent on how they enforce a lot of their community guidelines. And that's why people like Asmongold wants to leave, and why he's even saying it would be better for the platform if people like him and people like him are all gone from the platform. Asmongold that said that if he had his way, he'd outright ban all political content on Twitch, but believes the Amazon-owned platform wouldn't follow through. This talks about how he started off doing gaming, then kind of evolved into political content. This change hasn't come without controversy, however, as both he and other political commentators such as Hasan have found themselves coming under fire for some of the things they say. This has resulted in numerous brands pulling their ads from the platform. Last year, Twitch created a new content classification label for politics that gave users the option to hide political broadcasts and give brands the option to pull out of running ads on those streams. Now, this paragraph right here is important, and just keep it in mind too, because I'll come back to it in a little bit. And this isn't just about because it says brands pull their ads from political content or not interested in that, or they've been pulling ads because there's controversy on the platform. And it's not just impacting these individual creators, because these people like Asmongold and Hasan are already rich. It's not really going to hurt them a whole lot, but a lot of little creators, when brands pull their ads from Twitch and other platforms like that, it has a ramification on everyone else. I mean, you've heard about ad-pocolypses in the past. I mean, that's essentially what you're getting at when it comes to this sort of thing. When brands pull their ads because someone on the platform says something stupid, well, then it hurts pretty much everyone else. It would be as if a car on the highway cuts off someone, they slam on the brakes, and it causes a pileup behind that car, but the car that initially cut everyone off, they can continue to drive along because they're not involved in the accident. I mean, they caused it, but it's not going to really impact them. That's what happens when you get people on Twitch who say certain things that are pretty inflammatory, and it gets advertisers a pull. It hurts everyone else behind them. But here's the clip that's been going around over on X of Asmongold basically saying that, yes, you should get rid of a lot of the political content if you want to save the site or if you want to improve the site.
That's what I would do. If I wanted to optimize ad revenue, you know what I would do? I ban politics. That's what I'd do. Just ban it. The odds are that me and Hasan and Tectone and Frogan and Denims and Central Committee cause 90% of the PR problems on the entire website.
Not sure how accurate that actually is, but I think it is safe to say that, yes, those people cause a significant amount of the PR issues for Twitch. And it's just a few people. That's not even all political content. That's just crazy. These creators.
That is insane. Do you remember what I said? I've always been a pragmatic person. You remember what I said about sending the kids to the coal mines? The reason for that, like, again, remember what I said in school? If you removed in your school the bottom 5% of troublemakers, what percentage of the problems in your school would have gone away? Most people answered between 70 and 100% of the problems, right? And so that 90%, yes, so 5%.
I'm wondering if that's actually true.
90% of the problems. The funny thing is that on Twitch, 5 of the people create 90% of the problems. So yes, if I was Twitch, I would just say, hey guys, cut it the fuck out or you're getting banned. This is making.
Maybe it's not even as much as they need to ban political content entirely, but just be more consistent on how they enforce the rules, or be willing to actually ban people who break their community guidelines. Or if you consistently break your the rules and you consistently are getting bans, because I've even heard from some big creators, like if you're a big creator like Hasan, for instance, and it's like you say something that's gonna get you banned, they'll basically contact you and be like, okay, well, we have to ban you for this, so maybe just take a break for like a couple days, or I don't know. Were you planning on actually taking a day off? We'll just ban you for that day anyway, so it's not going to hurt you. But we can kind of save face and look like we're actually doing something. That's kind of what they've been doing on their platform, and that really needs to stop. I think it seems reasonable that if you don't want to ban this stuff entirely, you can just, because maybe it brings in a lot of views for them, it brings in a lot of revenue. Maybe advertisers aren't pulling out because of political content per se. They're pulling out because of I don't know, maybe just some more extreme rhetoric. So instead of banning everyone who just who talks about that kind of stuff, you just ban those people. Like, okay, you've had 3 temporary bans within the last year or whatever because of stuff that you've said on here, so we're going to kick you off the platform entirely. I personally think a lot of platforms like this, when people have their livelihoods on the line where they're making money from it, I think the rules should not necessarily be as subjective. Maybe you have a certain subjectivity to the rules if you're just a regular creator. But I mean, I think when you get to a certain threshold, at that point, I think the rules should be clearly outlined, or maybe better yet, just clearly outlined for everyone else. But I think the rules should actually be objective, where there's really no subjectivity to how they're enforced, or no arbitrary nature in how they're enforced. It's not someone's opinion whether or not what you said was too incendiary or not. You basically say, these are things that you can't say, or these are subjects that you can't talk about. And if you say or talk about these type of subjects, then then you violated the rules. You knew the rules, you violated the rules, you're going to face the consequences of those, as opposed to the arbitrary nature in which the rules are basically applied right now, where you can see some creators get preferential treatment over others, and a lot of people are really not happy with the way things are going with that, but that's how they've been running, and I don't think it's actually right the way they run things.
Making us look bad, right? That's it. And am I crazy? How much would viewership drop? It wouldn't go down. It wouldn't go down that much, right? And I don't think it would really worth it. So if I wanted to
probably go down a little
revenue,
bit,
that is what I would do, right? Do you think the only reason they haven't done it is it means that Hasan couldn't cover topics they agree with on anymore? No, it's because they can't draw the line on what's political and what's not. That's the reason why they can't do it.
And I kind of disagree with him on that one, because just going back to the article, they even say they have the content classification label for politics that give users options to hide political broadcasts and give brands the option to opt out of running ads on those streams. If they can do that, they can differentiate between what is political and what is not political. So because of that, I mean, they could say like anything that would have this label would be no longer allowed on their platform. So, I mean, if they wanted to ban politics, it's something they definitely could do. It's just a matter of Twitch not wanting to do it. Maybe advertisers pulling out isn't as severe of an issue as what they're trying to let on. They tell creators like political content isn't good for ads, so we're not going to pay you as much if you talk about political stuff. Okay, fair enough. But are you losing, or are you not making as much money for political videos? They might be saying like, oh no, we're still making the same amount of money, but we're just not going to give you as much. I don't know if that's actually the case. Maybe that's the case, because you would think if it's not really as lucrative as other stuff, then maybe that would stand the reason that they would actually get rid of it. But it seems like maybe there's content or advertisers out there who only want to advertise on political stuff, and they make a lot off of that. I know during campaign seasons and other stuff like that, they probably make a boatload off of political ads on there. So maybe that's why they don't want to get rid of it entirely, because they still do make a lot of money on it. And even though there's some advertisers who might want to pull out because of some of the rhetoric people use on there, it's still, they're making out better in the long run. Twitch is, I mean, and that's why they're still maintaining that. But the ramification on everyone else, kind of going back to what I previously said about how it hurts everyone else. Recently, Hasan made some statements. Some of the stuff that he says on there could be outright advocacy for extremism and stuff like that. I'm not saying definitively that's the case because it hasn't been adjudicated, but that's kind of what the word is on a lot of the stuff he says. And now it's kind of become mainstream when you hear people on CNN talking about it. Now, granted, this guy's from the ADL. They're not a very honest organization, but just take a look at this brief clip.
Call it out. I'm thinking about the New York Times doing a gauzy profile a few weeks ago of this gamer, Hasan Piker, who regularly employs awful genocidal rhetoric against Jewish people.
So now you get someone on CNN basically trying to call out another streamer. Advertisers, they might not look too deeply into that and just think like, yeah, Twitch is allowing this sort of rhetoric when they don't ban this type of person on there, which leads them to think like maybe they support this sort of rhetoric. And it feels like this is what's going to be the inevitable conclusion if a platform like Twitch continues to allow people to exist on there that continue to push controversial things like that. Is it's going to create an ad-pocolypse that might hurt everyone else on the platform, not necessarily the people who are saying it because they're well off enough. Asmongold is calling this out right now, and I think he's willing to step aside and go seek greener pastures. Doesn't look like Twitch is actually willing to do anything about it, though. They're going to continue to operate how they are until eventually I think it's going to be too much for them, because unless they actually do start enforcing their rules equally, I think someone's going to say something that will eventually create another ad-pocolypse, this time for Twitch. So, but let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. And also, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with the latest entertainment news. And don't forget to click that like button and share this video out there because it really helps out with the channel. Thank you.